getting a new little session going here to talk about fan technology, thermal application, engineering services, and just all the things about fans. I've been doing this a while, and I guess you'd call me a fan addict, right?
Yeah.
So we were thinking we could have our podcast rolling here, and we can be turning all you guys into fan addicts too. So yeah. So anyways, we'll you know kind of give you a little intro into who we are and what we're all about, and start laying out some plans for a weekly podcast going forward with tutorial and application information, just various things like that.
Definitely. Yeah. So I think first what we'll do is we'll go ahead and give them a little rundown on who we are, what we do, where fans are incorporated to what we do. So first of all, if you want to give us a background on like what is YS Tech?
Yep, yep. So YS Tech is short for Yensun Technology, right? And we're corporately out of Kaohsiung, Taiwan. Obviously, YS Tech USA here is in the States, and we're based out of Southern California in lovely Huntington Beach. So, here we provide design services and sales support and stocking and all that. So our operations for North America are based out of Southern California here.
Awesome. And so what's kind of like, let's say something we've done in the past that's like helped one of our past clients, like where they needed a design and we were able to custom build something for them.
Yeah, we YS has a full line of catalog parts, but I feel like what our strengths are is doing modified standards,
Right.
right? So we like to say one size does not fit all in our world. We definitely focus on specific verticals, and those are some things that we'll talk about, week in and week out in the podcast and what we do for those specific verticals.
Of
But
course.
to answer your question directly, I think what we do well is being able to address the specific needs within a vertical and be willing to apply those to standard products, right? So thus modified standards.
Mhm.
And that will enable us to get you a part that is much more well suited for the needs of your industry and not get into full custom fans.
100%, which honestly would probably save the company hundreds, if not thousands, hundreds of thousands of
Save a
dollars.
lot of money, yeah, because if you want to tool a custom fan, if you're going full custom, it can have $100,000 price tag.
Yeah.
If you're doing we'll say a partially custom and changing tooling and stuff like that, you're usually in at about $40,000 to $60,000.
Yeah. So I mean, it definitely helps when you can save. I want to backtrack a little bit. You mentioned Yen Sun Technologies. Can you just give us a little bit of a deeper dive into what that is exactly?
Yeah, so I'm the president here at YS Tech and
Mhm.
oversee sales. Eric Vrobel is our CEO, right? So Eric and I have been together almost 25 years now. And so we partnered up with Yensun to go to market here. And Yensun is a full manufacturer. We currently have 6 facilities, 3 in Taiwan, 3 in China. We design fans from the ground up. We manufacture them. We also, one of our facilities is a heat sink manufacturing facility. So we do thermal modules and coolers. And, that's why we say we're a thermal solutions provider. So really, our engineering services are based out of Taiwan. We like to get in and work with customers and actually develop on the front end of the program so that we can address the heat sink and the fan and really look at all the different technical needs when you're in the design process. It makes it easier to accomplish your goals.
Definitely. And now, without getting too technical on the deciding factor side, if someone was, let's say, they had a camera and they're looking to get some thermal solutions in there, what would be the best way they should decide based on like an EC fan, a blower, a heat sink, or like
Yeah,
AC/DC? How should they decide best?
give me a call and I'll help them out to get to where they want to be.
Fair enough. I mean, that's the best way to do it.
That's right.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you guys kind of took off after the .com boom, and after that time, what were some of like the early challenges you had in setting up the company, of course, and then also like what were some of the achievements that you kind of while you were building the company you felt like were substantial and monumental?
Yeah, those are the things we'll look at because those are basically the design services and things that we do to win our customers over. But, getting
Right.
back to the beginning, it's, the 90s were when fans were coming on and, the internet was just being born. And so once the internet came on, I mean, that's back when that was really before laptops were even really popular, right? So you have PCs and it's just the whole industry exploded. And, I was always a fan guy throughout my
Mhm.
career. I started at Sun-On and, been here since. But, it's really getting in and having a company that can have good support here for engineering and be able to communicate appropriately with our teams in Asia, right? So what we bring to the table is bridging that communication gap
Mhm.
and being able to articulate the needs of engineering companies and contacts here in North America to our engineers in Asia. And so by being able to, you know, bridge that gap, that's really what we brought to the table and being able to do it in a timely fashion and, and have fun doing it, right? Like the
Yeah.
number one thing on our, motto in the kitchen in there is have fun at work.
Yes,
We,
sir.
we all work together a lot and, it's nice to have friends in business when you're doing all this work.
100%. You mentioned, and this is just so we could drop a little bit of information on what we do in the process, mentioned getting things quicker to people. What would be like our turnaround time usually? Let's say someone wanted to work with us.
So if we're just doing a standard part, we samples we either have in stock here, in the warehouse. If they're not here, we can get them made and into your possession usually in about 30 days. Our current manufacturing lead time today is in the 8 to 10 week range plus
Oh, wow.
transit.
That's much lower than other companies out
That's
there.
right. And then, where we bring value, I believe, is in the development process. So whether if the customer's doing their own work and they're figuring out all their own thermals and they just tell us what fan they want, that's great. Or if we're engaged on the engineering front and we're doing, CFD work for them and actually figuring out exactly what their system needs, those things can happen in, a 4 to 6 week window of being able to do that. And then if custom parts are needed, the follow on for that's pretty quick too. And so
Definitely.
very tight timelines on engineering support and or making samples.
That's incredibly important. I want to take a look actually at the table here. We have a fan. You want to talk a little bit about this fan just to kind of share with people what it is and the background behind it?
Yeah, well, I don't want to make this into a product thing, but for our little table here, we figured this is going to be our fan of the week. This guy here is a brand new product. It's a 220 millimeter fan. It's north of 1,000 CFM. It's specifically designed for data center rack cooling and EV charging, and then of course any other industrial product. So it can come with speed control, IP ratings, all that kind of good stuff. And we'll look into that. But yes,
Right.
this is kind of our little, all right, let's have a feature of the week and we can kind of hit on it, what's going on. And if there's not new products going, we'll certainly bring out, what some of the features are and of, our standard line and strengths, whether it's noise or pressure or all that kind of good stuff. So,
100%. And I think just to just show people a little bit of what we do and the quality of the work we're able to produce, just so they can see it and
yep,
understand.
yep.
Yeah. Cool. So, I mean, I got another question for you. In terms of this podcast specifically, what's your vision for the podcast? Why, what inspired you to create it and build it out?
So, I travel a lot, meet with customers, and I really enjoy doing that. And, you never know what you're going to need when you sit down and talk, right?
Right.
So, whether it's, I'm doing technical trainings, talking about applications, working through issues on fans, looking at a whole system, those are all things that get conversations going. So,
Mhm.
I kind of felt like, okay, there's we're not aware of any other people in our industry that are doing this. So it's like we want to have a conversation and talk about it and let people know what we can do. You can see it, right? Without us coming to visit, we'll break this up.
Sure.
Yeah. So obviously, we're not podcast experts. So we're getting into this and learning how to do it. But with the knowledge and all of the information that we have to share with customers, we wanted to have a platform that we can do more sharing, right?
Mhm.
So we want to talk about technical things. We want to talk about product releases. We want to talk about application. The first month, we're just going to talk about fan ABCs.
Yeah.
What is an axial fan? What is a radial blower? What's a squirrel cage blower? So just look into some of those because we hear all these terms and not everybody knows. So we'll do a little fan ABCs, then we'll start working on products. But it's just to share and be able to bring more information to you on a regular basis rather than waiting for a YS Tech sales guy to come by and have an in-person meeting.
100%. And then we are starting up a YouTube as well, where we are going to be demonstrating some of the fans and what they do. Uh, what's your vision on that specifically? The
Yeah,
YouTube.
well, we're just getting out there and sharing, right? So it's
Yeah.
like as we kick out new products all the time, and we just want to be able to share what we have so that people know, because that's basically marketing it out. But if you don't know, you don't know. So
Yeah.
it's my job to make sure you know so that you
Hmm.
can make those right decisions.
Definitely. And then even let's say you're a client who wants to work with us, you could say, "Oh, we saw your fan on episode 4, and we might be able to use some parts of it. Let's work together."
Yep, totally.
And then we are going to be doing a new series on YouTube in a few months once we get everything launched up. Where if you guys have like a flow you want us to take a look at, or a fan that you're currently working with that you want to switch to YS Tech, we'd be happy to do a little live demo on that.
For sure. And all you got to do is reach out in the comments, or we'll put our contact information for sales folks. And
Yeah.
if you got something to work on, for sure, that is the whole point of this, right? We want to help. We want to make your life easier and hopefully get you to market faster with an amazing solution.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, this is Eden, and this is Charlie. Thank you so much for tuning in. You have anything you want to tell our lovely viewers at
No,
home?
hey, well, glad to meet everybody. We'll see all you fan addicts on the next one.
Yes, sir. Stay addicts.